Obesity has become a worldwide pandemic where many people are gaining weight. And it has all sorts of health implications. And today, this is what we will be discussing on the Dr. Tebz show, where we're putting your health back into your hands. And today I have a very special friend of mine. Her name is Carla Lawrence. She is a well-accomplished dietitian, let me tell you that. And she's working out of Milnerton. And we're going to be discussing about obesity and weight loss. Hi, Carla.
Hi.
Welcome to the Dr. Tebz show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
No, it's a pleasure having you. I'm very excited about today's episode, because so many people are struggling with weight, for all sorts of reasons, But let's start from the beginning. In your practice, how often, how prevalent is this problem of being overweight or obesity?
So 50% of my clients or my patients that come into my practice have obesity. About 30% are overweight, and then the 20% are normal weight. So within my practice, that is the norm. So quite a big number of patients being obese.
Sure. So this topic is important.
Yes.
Hands
important.
down. How does a person know that they are overweight or that they're obese? There are all these terms, BMI, muscle mass. Can you just explain it a bit for us?
Yes, I like this question because people think that it's just a look. So how someone looks, if they look round, if they look square, if they look, but it's actually got a lot to do with the numbers. So BMI is a very good indicator of obesity and overweight. And basically what obesity is, it's just taking your weight and monitoring it with your height. And then from there deciding, there's like a indicator to say where you lie with regards to the answer that you get from that number. So it's just an indicator. So BMI, definitely, but there's also other things that you can do as well.
Okay,
such as lean body mass, skeletal muscle mass, body fat mass. When you do a body composition, those will all be indicators of how your total body composition looks. Yeah.
Okay. So from what you're saying is that it sounds like it's not just a simple I look like this and now this is I'm overweight. You can't do that. And this is I think this is why you need to go to a dietitian.
Yes.
So that they can say to you, you're overweight, you're obese. This is how you should be.
Yes.
Actually.
So look, the common indicator is BMI. And if there are no assessment tools around to do a full body composition, then body mass index, which is BMI, is usually the go-to.
Okay.
But it can be a bit overwhelming for someone when they go to a doctor or just at a wellness day and somebody says to them, oh, you're obese.
Yes.
So that can be a little bit overwhelming. So I do think that doing the entire picture is very important.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Carla. So is there a problem with being overweight and obese? Is there?
Yes. So the unfortunate answer to that question is yes, it does have complications.
Yeah.
So it increases your risk of having heart disease, it increases the risk of type 2 diabetes, it can cause digestive issues, hernias, all kinds of complications. So there definitely is. And it also decreases your quality of life. This is something that I'm very big on in my practice, especially with women and families that have young kids. So you want to be able to move around, you want to be healthy, to still, have a healthy lifestyle and be around for your kids and your grandkids eventually. So there are complications to it, and in surgery as well. So, if you're overweight or obese and you're going to surgery, there could also be some complications.
Okay.
So,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that a lot of people don't like that term, to be called obese or overweight. It's like, you're offending me,
Yeah.
So no, but thank you for explaining that. And also now, what are kilojoules? Because now everybody goes, okay, you have to lose weight. These are the kilojoules. You must count your kilojoules.
Yeah.
What are those?
So kilojoules is, in a nutshell, basically a measurement of energy That's all that it is. So 1 calorie is also a measurement of energy, and it's something that's more commonly used. So a calorie and a kilojoule is basically the same thing, but 1 calorie would be 4 kilojoules. So it's basically a measurement of energy. So every meal item has a certain amount of energy that it will provide to the body, and that's basically what a kilojoule is.
Okay, all right, because those are the things that you see at the back of the product where it's written that, right? Okay, all right. So tell me, what constitutes a balanced diet? And why is a balanced diet important?
Okay, that's our favorite word as dietitians, balance. It's so important. So balance basically means having all your macronutrients, which is your carbohydrates, protein, and your fat. And also including your vitamins, your minerals, and everything else that's needed in your diet.
So wait, I'm going to pause you there. Because now you're discussing the food groups. So let's backtrack to that. So can you break down what are those food groups, and then how do you make them a balanced diet? So your food groups are, like I said, your carbohydrates, your protein, and your fat. So your carbohydrates, protein, and fat all constitute towards your energy. So what we were talking about, the kilojoules before this, those are the food items that are going to contribute towards your energy, your total energy for the day. So carbohydrates is basically your energy food. That's like one of the most important foods. Well, they're all important. I don't want to separate them. And then your protein is going to be your muscle building, and your fats are going to help with your nerve endings and insulation, that type of thing. So they're all important, and they're all needed in the diet. So getting to balance, that's where it gets a little bit tricky, because there's so much information out there, and there's so many different diets. And cutting out the food group is never the answer. It's how you include it into your diet. What's important to remember with balance is your micronutrients as well. And these are your vitamins and your minerals. So we've heard a lot about vitamins and minerals in the last couple of years. But vitamins and minerals also important because they support your body. So you need your vitamin C, your vitamin A, your vitamin D, you need all of those, your zinc and all those things. Very important to include it in your diet as well. So things like fiber as well, also important. Drinking enough water, also important. And that will all add to a balanced diet. But in my opinion and in my practice, it's very important to remember that life is like changing. It's dynamic. It's never the same every day, and we are human, and we have palates that enjoy good foods. So so having things like chocolate and sweets and takeaways and cakes, which is like the bad words. In some realms, it's why is a dietitian talking about these things? But it's life, and we all like nice things, and we all have certain tastes and things. So balance is including those as well in your diet without increasing your blood sugar levels, beyond repair. Finding the balance of how to include those meals into a healthy lifestyle. Exactly. Because what you're saying is so important, because we all think, okay, for me to have a balanced diet, I must kick out all these, as you said, the bad foods, so that I feel healthy. I've done great. And I love the fact that you said fats are also important. Because when everyone says we're going to go now into talking about losing weight, but now when everyone thinks about it, they're like, no, I'm going to check out the fats, check out the fats. So I'm glad that you actually recognize that and you mentioned that,
Fats and carbohydrates have become quite... I don't know what the word is to use, but it's become lots of people think that they need to cut that out. It's all over social media. It's everywhere. The trick is finding which are the healthier options and how to incorporate this into your diet in order to make your diet healthy and balanced. And carbohydrates are actually one of our biggest energy fuels. Our brain needs glucose to function. So it's important to include it in your diet, and fats as well. Good fats, having omega-3s are all important in our diet. They all play a role in the diet.
Sure. Yeah, no, I love this mind-blowing revelation.
Yeah.
So now, Carla, you've now explained beautifully about kilojoules, all of this balanced diet. Now, people, when they want to lose weight, they go very drastic. You know, they cut out food groups. They're like, yeah, in two weeks I have to lose weight for a wedding. And so these things are unsustainable.
Yeah.
And I'm sure somehow, some way, this is not right. Can you just explain, what does it do to your body to be just cutting out food and then going back to your normal diet? What does that do to your food, to your body?
Okay, so our bodies are fascinating. And our bodies, when you are depriving your body of a certain food group, your body is obviously going to take it from a different source.
Yes.
So firstly, that's going to happen.
Okay.
And secondly, when you reintroduce that food group to your body is going to go, oh wow, you know, like, let me take this and let me store it somewhere, because next time she's going to starve me.
Yes.
So that's what happens. So usually when people follow those drastic measures, they tend to pick up more weight.
That's it.
Yes. So I'm sure people have tried diets out there before and stopped the diet and noticed that once they start eating normally again, that they pick up almost double the weight that they've lost. So a lot of the times they revert back to those measures because they think that that's the answer.
Yes.
But the same pattern is going to happen over and over and over again. So the best thing to do is to follow a healthy lifestyle every single day, and incorporate habits and different things into your life where you are going to have a sustainable diet, so to speak. So you're not going to take big drastic measures, and you know, and on the other question, or the thing that you mentioned about like functions and weddings and that type of thing, when people do that, for me it's, why do it short term? Why not do it over a long period of time? And also love yourself for who you are. So that dress needs to fit you and not you fit the dress. So alter the dress and not your diet.
Love it.
Yeah. So it's also a mindset when it comes to weight loss. You know, and society plays a big role in it. So I mean, for a wedding, they're going to say, Tebz, you need to look a certain way, you know, and unfortunately that is the world we live in. But we need to be strong enough to say, you know what, this is me, this is who I am, and this is how I'm going to portray myself. So I'm not big on the quick last minute.
Last minute dieting.
Yeah.
No, I love that. I love the fact that you said it's lifestyle, it needs to be sustainable, and you must be comfortable with you, not be trying to fit into dresses. Okay. So now you're talking about the diets. There's many diets out here. There's intermittent fasting. There's keto diets. There's this. Can you tell us, you know, which one should we follow, or if not, like what do you suggest is a good diet for us to be following?
So this is what I was speaking about earlier. It's all about sustainability. And this is exactly what I tell my clients when they come into my practice. 2 years down the line, 3 months down the line, are you going to be able to sustain this diet? So with keto, for example, it's basically very high protein and certain kinds of fats and very low carbohydrate, and we know that protein is expensive, so it's not generally sustainable. And also in a family, you might have kids, you might have elderly, you have different, you know, different people
in the family.
So they're going to want bread or a sandwich or pasta, you know, so it will just be maybe for you and not for the entire family. So what we also try to promote, or what I try to promote, is keeping it realistic in a sense where your diet is going to be beneficial for everyone. So that's also something for me that's a big thing. And then like with intermittent fasting, what I always tell my clients is that's absolutely your choice. If you feel that's working for you, but are you getting in your energy requirements for the day? Are you getting in enough fiber? Are you getting in enough water? Are you getting enough vitamins? So all that you need, fit it into your your period
Yes.
when you are eating.
Yes.
Which also can be a problem because then you're going to be eating large amounts of food. So there's always that kind of debate. So generally with those diets, you are not going to be getting in everything that you need. So it's not something I promote. If someone feels very strongly about it, I'll try and make it work.
Yeah.
But it's not generally something I promote.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the bottom line is that it's got to be realistic.
Realistic.
This diet.
Yes. If you can afford it, if you can answer all those questions and do it and it's sustainable, then by all means. But if not, which in most cases it doesn't work, then it's even like with the shakes, you know, people buying certain shakes and that type of thing. They do it for a while, they lose lots of weight, they become healthier, and further down the line they can't afford it anymore and they just don't do it, and then they just go back to picking up weight.
Okay, so now we come to the juicy part. I'm sure all our viewers are like, okay, finally tell us. What is a good diet that I can follow using all of these beautiful examples? How do I put together? I know you always say to me, Tebz, you know, it's individualized.
Yes.
But in general, you know, someone's like, okay, you know, I'm sitting in Kailicha, I can't really see my dietitian now. How do I at least start? Okay. You know, how do I start, you know, moving in the right direction?
So the first thing for me is regular meals. Eat regularly. Breakfast, lunch, and supper. And snacks in between, very important. So keep your metabolism going and keep your energy levels nice and stable. That's very important. And also, not diet-related exercise. Exercise and nutrition goes like this. Yes. They're a couple. So it's very important to do the two, and it's something very important for me in my practice. So I do tell them all the food things, but I am very, very strong on movement and exercise. That's very important. So that's where you can start. And people will say to me, I can't walk in my area. There's no gym, there's no this. You really don't need those things. We have YouTube now. We have all these ways and means of doing things. And you can do it in your lounge. I mean, when we had COVID, that's what most of us did. So there's no excuse to exercise. So it's very important. The two go together. But very important is to start with breakfast. Have a good healthy breakfast. Try and have a protein at every meal. And then lots of fruit and vegetables. Your green leafy veg.
Let's get these veggies.
So for breakfast, what you can do, for example, if you're going to have an omelette, then you can add your spinach, your tomato, some mushrooms, and those are all ways to incorporate vegetables into your diet.
So basically this is what it should look like. This and that. Okay,
basically, cool. It's so simple. You can add whatever you want to add to it. If you do a scrambled egg, you could do fried tomato, you could make some lettuce. I love spinach. I actually use spinach as lettuce. So you could use lettuce as well. If you make a sandwich, for example, if you do a toasty, which a lot of people like for breakfast, so instead of just doing bread and melted cheese, you can add tomato, you can add some spinach, or lettuce, and make it a nice healthy breakfast. Some mushrooms. I feel like this mushroom these mushrooms
they should be there.
Mushroom, onion as well. So we love caramelized onion.
So you should add that to there.
Frying some onion and adding some onion to your breakfast is also a good way. And what you can do is when you do a frittata, for example, so the frittata is the omelette in the big pan, you can actually put it into little muffin pans and you have little portions, and that you can actually use as lunches as well. Brilliant. So that's a nice breakfast to have, and then not forgetting your carbohydrate, which is going to be maybe a slice of bread, for example. You can add that as well.
So we could bring the breads here as well, in the middle here.
So once again, a little bit of balance.
Yes, balance,
of
balance,
everything.
balance.
You could add some tuna as well.
Okay.
Some fish if you'd like to, which
So
is
that's
quite
if you've that
pungent. So not a lot of people like fish in the
It
morning.
is, mm.
So yeah, if you prefer, you could, but if you don't, you can leave that out, and you're gonna get your protein from your eggs in any case.
Yes.
So that's an idea for breakfast. Lunches, you could do something very similar with regards to the sandwiches, and especially if you're working, people always ask me, what must I pack in for lunch?
Exactly.
So I'm like, a sandwich, good old sandwich, just it's fine. It doesn't need to be anything fancy.
Yes.
But a sandwich, just load it with your vegetables and your salads. You can add that. Carrots are also good. So you could just add that as well, or leftovers.
Which are the carrots, ne?
Carrots are also
You know,
good.
I made these carrots like this because I wanted to show that
The
you can make it,
kids.
yes,
Yeah.
that you can have carrot sticks, you can make it
Yes.
into a salad or even that.
Anyway,
Yes.
you can have them in any way, so that's good. For lunches, the other thing I also recommend is leftovers. So
Yeah.
just make a little bit extra the night before and pack it in as lunch the next day. That's
Yes.
also really good. But just remember to keep it balanced once again. So with every meal, try and remember your different food groups, which is your carbohydrates, your protein, and for fats you could do seeds.
Okay, so we've got our seeds here. We've got that,
Yep.
and we've got our sesame seeds in
Yep.
this little container over here. Sesame seeds and pumpkin seeds over
Yeah.
there. Cool. Great.
So that could be your fats, your margarine as well. Could also be your fat. So this you're going to add to your sandwich.
Yeah.
So that's going to be your fat portion.
Okay. Yes. Okay, cool.
Here we go.
Great.
For dinner,
Yeah.
so this one is a bit tricky because people are like, I want something quick, so people just want to come home and everything needs to be there.
Yes.
So if you want quick and you want to keep it healthy and
Yeah.
you are a working person, then I recommend meal planning. So plan your meals and prep your meals
Yes.
before the time.
Okay.
So people are like, oh, do I need to spend my entire weekend making food for the
Yes.
week? You don't have to. You can just prepare a few things. So you can basically take your meat, your protein for the week,
Yeah.
and you can prepare it. So
Okay.
your chicken, if you're going to do minced dishes or beef dishes or stews or that type of thing, you can prepare that on a Sunday,
Okay.
freeze it, and on the day that you're going to make it, you just take it
Take it
out
out
the freezer,
freezer.
and then you add whatever vegetables, you add your rice, your carbohydrate or whatever, and that's your meal for the day. So it's nice and quick. Also, you can cook your rice. You can cook bulk, and you can just put it in the freezer, and when you need it, you can take it out and use it.
Yes.
So that's also another thing that you can do. So that's very, very quick and easy.
Yes.
And then, but it does take planning.
That's the thing.
Yeah, and it does take time, a little bit of time out of your day, maybe on a Saturday or Sunday, but during the week it's going to be beneficial, and it's also going to be beneficial for you with regards to your health. So it's all a choice. You have to weigh up the options. Do I want to be healthy? Or,
Yes.
so that's also that's one of the things that you can do. And then frozen foods are fine.
Yeah.
You can use frozen vegetables. You can
Okay.
use tinned vegetables as well. I see now that the lentils and the chickpeas and the beans all come in tins.
Literally like
Yeah.
this, like these chickpeas, I got them from the shop. That's why they've got brine in it.
Yes.
So
if you
in the can.
have a problem with high blood pressure,
Yeah.
which you need to restrict your sodium, which is basically your salt, and then your food items that have brine
Yeah.
basically have sodium or salt in.
it.
So you can just rinse them
Okay.
instead of using the brine.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to add the brine, don't add added
Salt.
salt to your meal.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically some ideas for
Yeah, that's
For a
absolutely
balanced diet.
brilliant. And
Yeah.
I think the message I'm taking away from this is that you have to plan. We plan for
Yeah.
all sorts of things.
Yeah.
We plan for our careers and everything, but we
Yes.
never plan our food.
Yes, we don't, and it's the last thing we think about. but it's the one thing that is the most, like we're most pedantic about, is about our weight and our food and that type of thing. So meal planning is important.
It is important.
Yeah.
And so you touched on about high blood pressure. So patients, or people rather, who have a bit of obesity problem, they also have high blood pressure or high cholesterol. So if they have to tweak this sort of diet to match that, to keep their blood pressure down, to take the bad fat down, how do they do that?
So with regards to the blood pressure, the biggest thing is going to be your sodium and your salt level. So trying to restrict the amount of food that has added salt. So even like these crackers that have the salt on, these all contribute towards your salt intake.
Yes.
So being very cautious about the amount of salt that you take in, read labels.
Yes.
Be very cautious about that, because MSG, you know, all those things we see on the labels is basically salt.
Okay.
So that's very important to keep an eye on. And then exercise again.
Yes.
Making sure your weight is at a good state.
So Carla, so you're saying that, you know, with the high blood pressure, we must just watch the sodium.
Yes.
So now with the cholesterol side of things, there's the good fat and there's bad fats. So like, how do you lower the bad fats?
Okay. So I'm not fond of the term really good and bad.
Okay.
They all, like I said, once again play a role, but the amounts that are taken in is also very important. The biggest one that I would say is bad would maybe be a trans fat.
Yes.
So trans fatty acids are not exactly good. So that would come from your deep fried foods, all the nice things that we like, your processed meats, our chips, you know, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And then what I like to focus on is the good fats.
Yes.
So that's what I also always tell my clients. Stop focusing on the bad, but focus on the good. So try to include the fats that are better for you and healthy for you. So that's going to be your nuts and your seeds.
Okay.
So it will be these.
Okay. So let me do this and show them here.
So your nuts and your seeds are very important, your sesame seeds and your pumpkin seeds, and it's very important to include this in your daily diet. What's important to remember is you're not going to have like this entire portion. Basically what is needed is like a handful.
So literally,
I would normally say
literally that much.
Yeah.
That is
so just
little.
remember, my palm is not as big as everybody else's palm. So the size of your palm, that's the amount of nuts and seeds.
So about that?
Yes. Not the entire bag.
We eat the whole entire bag.
Yeah. So it's good for you, but not too much is very important. And also they have different like fat contents. I'm not going to go into detail about that now, but some of them just have higher fat than others. But also your pumpkin seeds, which are really, really good. This you can actually, when you make like a bowl of oats, for example, you can just throw it over your oats and throw it in your smoothies.
That looks so good, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
So these are also good. So what's important to remember with cholesterol is not to completely cut out your fats, but to include the good fats into your diet as well. Avocado pea as well. I don't really have some avocado pea. This fruit over here.
It's a fruit.
Well, in my opinion, it's a fruit. This is big. People ask me questions about it all the time because most people love it, but it is a fat. It is considered a fat. So you're not going to eat the entire avocado pea. You're going to have just a portion of the avocado pea.
Carla, you're killing me, girl. So, wait. We had to pause here. I'm going to be honest. Eat that whole thing on toast.
Yes. So that's the problem. And when you make when you make your toast, you're going to add margarine as well to your toast. So you're going to put this margarine on your toast, and you're going to add the whole avo. So your fat intake for that specific meal is going to be very high. And then if you have that for lunch, or for breakfast, you're going to forget at dinner that I ate an entire avocado pear, and then you're going to include fats in that meal as well. So for the entire day. So people will say that to me, I eat so healthy. I had avocado and toast for breakfast, and then I'm like, but if you think about it, you had the entire avocado pear. So that's the problem. And also people do smoothies with avocado pear, which is absolutely delicious. But then you add your milk, full cream milk, or you add your yogurt, and it just increases the fat content. So that's what's important to remember. Yeah.
No, we need a moment of silence.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, Carla, no. I'm going to stop and say, okay, girl, you know your stuff. Where can people contact you? Because I'm sure viewers are just like gobsmacked, like, oh my goodness, is this really happening?
Yeah.
Where can people contact you when they want to come and find you? To be like, help me, I'm trying to lose weight, or I've got high blood pressure, or I've got hypercholesterol, or I have all of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to change my diet practically and realistically for myself, considering my family, you know. So how can they contact you?
So I have an office in Milnerton, Cape Town, and I can also be contacted on my telephone number, which is 021-207-4820.
Yes.
Or on my cell phone, which is 081-454-1886. And then my email is carla@wdietitian, spelled with a T, not a C, .co.za.
Okay, and you're also on Facebook and Instagram, right?
Yes,
it's
that's
the
correct.
Holistic Nutrition by Carla. Yes, so that's where people can find her, okay? And we will put these contact details in the description below so that you know where to contact Carla. And more importantly, she can also be contacted virtually, right?
Yes.
You do Zoom consults and so forth.
Yes.
So just because you're in Joburg or Namibia or wherever you are, you can contact Carla. She's contactable. So with that, what are your final closing thoughts to all our viewers at home?
My final closing thoughts
Yes.
are weight loss is a journey. It's an holistic approach. So it's not just isolated to food or to who you are, how you look. It's an overall process. So you need to look at different aspects of your life, like your finances, where are you health-wise with regards to your mental health, emotional health, all those types of things. How do you sleep? Very important, because sleep has a big impact on weight loss as well. So yeah, that's my closing thoughts. It's basically an holistic approach, and don't be too pedantic about things. You know, sometimes people feel very guilty about eating certain foods, and I'm not here to make people feel that. It's about building a relationship with food, and a healthy relationship with food.
Oh wow,
So,
I love that. Healthy relationship with food.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I feel like that could literally lead us into another
Yes.
pathway, but we will discuss that on another day. But thank you so much, Carla, for joining me today. And really, I think you've helped a lot of our viewers back home. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you. And to you viewers back home, thank you so much for joining us today on the Dr. Tebz show, where we were discussing obesity, being overweight, and how to lose weight in a healthy manner. So if you would like to get more information, as I said, we will leave Carla's contact details below in the description box. And if you'd like to ask us any questions, please do so. We'll get back to you. And remember to share, like, subscribe, and push the notification button so that you will know when we post our next episode. So until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember, your health is in your hands. God bless.